Okay, just making sure. It is. But the rest is so far. Dark64, what got him into DDR was DDR Max for the PS2. That's an OG.
One of my favorite mixes.
Yes, and his favorite DDR song is Smash. Specifically, he said the Expert 17. Loves the song, streaming sections at the end. And it was his ever first full combo on a level 17. Super exciting
on a 17, that's a very impressive stat. So their warm-up is... I do not know, is this rabbit hole? I cannot read, I can't read Japanese that well.
I think so.
Rabbit hole, yep, that's rabbit hole. So in this warm-up, it looks like Mars is taking a slight lead right now, but it is just the beginning of the song. So in these first pools, what are you looking to see in the song picks and how players are going to be performing?
What makes this really interesting is these pools in this level range from 10 to 12, anything could show up. You know, you can come to midi base.
Oh god.
So just seeing what the players choose to protect and choose to veto, high chance probably people will just veto every gimmick song of the stuff they don't know. But since it's just a mixed bag, we'll just see a mixed bag. We'll just see what happens with the 10 to 12s. And I expect some really, really close games.
Right now we've got... Looks like the lead is starting to gather a little bit. Dark64 picking up a fair number of fast perfects. I don't know if he's entirely familiar. Does he primarily play on Gold Cap?
I think so.
That would explain it, because I know that there is a bit of that, you know, break-in period switching between cab types.
Right.
Thankfully, this is the warm-up, so there isn't a score on the stake here. Right. But both of them doing a very good job, better accuracy than I would do this on my first song of the day.
Yeah, at 10 in the morning on a cold Saturday, Frozen Ray MA morning.
The name is very apt.
Beautiful BFC by Mars, by the way. Nice and gold. 15. Whoa.
Oh my, 15. Yeah, so I was looking in the wrong spot.
And nailing the slowdown too.
All this time, and I still can't remember to look in the right spots. I think that was...
Oh, no, that was a warm-up. That was a warm-up. Yeah. Not real.
And now our first song for this is going to be...
I don't know the name of that song.
I also cannot read. Oh, it's up there.
Alright, is there a pick in the chat? So you can translate the name. I don't know what that says.
The draw is up at the top of the screen. Oh, this is Hashire Melonpan. For someone who doesn't know how to read Japanese, I'm apparently really good at reading Japanese.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to do card draws.
Understood.
But good luck to all the competitors. Hope you guys enjoy the stream, alright?
So a little bit about Mars today. What got Mars into DDR? They started at 5 when their cousin bought their family the PS2 games. They need to buy new foam pads frequently because they'd wear them out all the time. And their first experience with arcade DDR was here at Holyoke after moving into the area. Looks like both of them picking up a few fast perfects at different spots at the beginning, but still within 1 or 2 EX of each other. Something I find a little intriguing is that most players, at least that I see here, will use the note scheme, which will have the notes as a certain color scheme. As you'll see on Mars' side, they have red and blue notes pretty consistently. But if you look at Dark64's side, they are actually changing color as they scroll up, and they're just offset based off the timing. Ooh, Dark64 keeping up a great there. Mars is taking a somewhat substantial lead, but it's not, you know, we're only at about the halfway point of the song, if I remember correctly. There's still plenty of song left to go. Both of them picking up perfects there. Dark64 doing a very good job keeping MA in those jumps there. yes, Dark64 does have the slightest amount of sudden plus. I know earlier when they were warming up, they were actually playing with Dark, which hides the Judgment Zone. And then they turned that back on. I think they're still trying to get used to the white cab timing. Picking up some more greats there. Mars with a growing lead. This is a best of 3, and it looks like Mars is going to take it 9:02 to 9:05 to 8:13. I forgot that freezes still give you EX at the end of them. Another PFC by Mars with 19. Dark64 with 89 and 11. A lot of fast. Both of them stepping a little bit on the fast side here. But again, it is early. We did start off right as the location opened. Our next song is going to be Crazy Shuffle DSP. Oh yes, both of those were sight reads. That is a very good point that I did not take into account. Crazy Shuffle here, it looks like Mars has not played the difficult, but has a pretty good score on the expert. Both of them with scores on the expert. Dark64 has played the difficult before. The question is going to be who's able to pull out a victory here. So right now Mars is 1-0. And we are going to see how this goes. Crazy Shuffle is a song that has a lot of swing rhythm, as you can probably hear. A little bit more about Mars. Mars' favorite song is So Deep from DDR Max 2. There seems to be a lot of DDR Max 2 fans here today. Alright, let's see how this goes. This is a good song. I need to play it more often. Dark64 picking up an early great. Mars following up with a good fair amount of fast perfects. Dark64 holding a very slight lead this early on. And there's our first great from Mars there. Both of them within a 3 EX give or take of each other here. Dark64 feeling much more at home with this song compared to Hashibe Melonhan. I seem to have forgotten. For some reason, I thought that the 10 on this had some swing rhythms. Still a very nice chart with some good crossovers there. I'm not too familiar with the sync on songs, unfortunately, so I'm not going to be a good judge on that front. I see both of them electing to not do the crossovers, which... Oh, nope. As I say that, they both do crossovers. They heard me and took offense to that. Which is more than fair. And it looks like they do, that's a good point, Gospel. Both of them do have constant on songs with these singular BPMs. Oh, did 64 getting a miss there. That was, and a chaining greats there. That lead is starting to grow for Mars once again. And I am now being joined by Duncan. Hello, pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Can you get me caught up? How are people doing?
So far, we just had our first song happen. Mars won pretty handily. This BPM is, I'm drawing a blank on the BPM, but yes, this one is a bit of a challenge to draw. The one heads up I will give is you want to be a little close to the mic. These are a little bit difficult to pick up, but other than that, should be good. Blue tape there is the front. And it looks like that's going to be Mars winning 2-0 with 10:37 to 10:05. We're going through that a little quickly. All right, fair enough.
All right, excellent job, Mars. It's a shame that I wasn't able to be here to watch that first match, but it seemed like they both played pretty well.
Yes, they both played pretty well. It was a good match. I think Dark64 primarily plays on Gold Cab.
Oh, interesting.
So that still might be getting used to that change.
Yeah, I mean, especially right here at the beginning of the day, there wasn't really an opportunity to do like a long warm-up because you're the first person playing right at the opening. That's always such a tough place to be in that very first pool.
Yeah.
So really props to them for being able to play with that level of precision despite not having any time to acclimate to the cab's timing.
Yes.
All right, who we got coming up?
That's a good question.
Well, I see Zabizzle, who is a local player to me. Zabizzle is from the New Jersey area, plays at the Elizabeth Round 1. Really dedicated player. Does really well with doubles as well. I wish we had the opportunity to see him playing some doubles today. But yeah, I'm excited to see how Zabizzle does. I'm not sure who the other player is. Let me check our record here.
I don't know exactly who is going to be doing this next match.
I think it's Demeki will be.
I don't believe so. If my memory serves me correctly, Domeki is in pool 2.
Oh, interesting.
So it would be Zabizzle and oh my god, why am I drawing a blank?
We have Mars and Dark.
You have the benefit of having just got here. I don't have an excuse.
That's right. I'm getting caught up to speed. But anyway, I can keep talking a little bit about Zabizzle, who, again, like I say, I'm relatively familiar with. One thing that I should let you know is that So Deep is Zabizzle's favorite DDR song, that's a good choice.
That's also Mars's favorite. There's a good... So far, 3 out of the 4 Pool 1 players, either their favorite song was in DDR Max 2, sorry, I had a complete and utter brain fart there, or their favorite game just straight up was DDR Max 2.
Aha!
And to be fair, it looks like a...
Little did they know just how many more paranoias there would be to come.
I wouldn't blame them. It'd be tough to be that chart, but, well...
But we couldn't be so lucky.
It looks like this is Creteture's first play on DDR World. If memory serves me correctly, I believe these days they primarily do ITG when they're doing dance games. And that's going to be something that I have a bit more experience with, but I'm not entirely familiar with their play range on that.
Well, one thing that I can say is that when you see people moving between these games, it can often take a little bit to get back in, especially with DDR. The sync is so strange.
Yes.
From song to song, things are changing. From machine to machine, things are changing. And when you're not even coming from, say, Gold Cab or a Black Cab, you're coming from an entirely different system, an entirely different game.
Yes.
I think that can be a little bit of a challenge. So we'll see here on the warm-up, how is Creteture using that time to actually find the sync? Are they going to use it more to warm up the legs? Like, what is their priority going to be ahead of the match?
Looks like they intend to warm up with Ace for Aces.
Well, that is choice. When you're trying to find sync, Ace for Aces is one that is going to put you on a variable sync that kind of tends toward being late. So I guess depending on what the songs were, Rebirth isn't a particularly terribly sunk song, so I'm interested in why they're going for Ace. Maybe that's just because it has a lot of notes in it. It's going to give them a lot of variable rhythms. We'll give them Soflan.
My choice for warm-ups is a little cursed, so I can't really speak too much about choosing Ace for Aces. This seems like something I would pick.
Yeah, it shakes off the cobwebs mentally. That's for sure. If you can get through a good warm-up of Ace for Aces, you're going to be ready for anything that comes at you for the rest of this match.
Another little fun fact about Zabizzle, they have the title of the Destroyer when they accidentally fried Tilt's cabinet trying to connect a monitor to it. I'm interested in that story.
Yeah, I think
I want to know how the whole cabinet. That's a question I'll have to ask later.
I think the less context you have for the story, the cooler the name is.
Honestly, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, Zabizzle is a long-time member of the community, running tournaments back in Denver, like all the way back in the early 2000s. And now being an East Coaster in New Jersey, playing regularly, really active in our New Jersey Discord, encouraging people, sharing scores. And the New Jersey community wouldn't be the same without him.
I know that they are incredibly active in Life 4, and it's always a pleasure to see Diamond Chat and the card draw group. I don't know if you've seen that
No,
one.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's a mini group within Life 4 that just does, they jokingly call it Fight Club, where they just do card draws.
Okay.
Just, hey, who wants to do a card draw of this difficulty range?
Yeah, well, that's the kind of person Zabizzle is. Just loves DDR, loves dance games, loves getting as much competitive nature in there as possible.
Now, I saw them when they were setting up their settings. I saw Zabizzle was running with Hidden and Sudden Plus.
Interesting.
Okay, it looks like they're using these. Yeah, they actually do have both of them set to be active and having. Okay, this is. I'm not familiar with actually seeing people doing Hidden and Sudden, especially with Constant being an option now.
Yeah, it's usually more of a meme choice. I would say definitely the Hidden in this case has some utility for a song like Ace for Aces to help them get on the sync. Some people think that if you can give yourself a little bit of a different window to shoot for by covering that top, it can help with your timing. Now, covering the bottom, that's a different kind of question. I'd be curious to hear from Zabizzle what the reasoning is behind that.
It's like both of them are getting hit by Ace for Aces moments. I think that's one of the best ways that I can describe it. Neither of them having played any songs yet today.
Yeah,
both of them doing pretty reasonable for...
Okay. Yeah, I'd say just being able to hit notes on Ace for Aces makes it doing pretty reasonable.
Especially on the difficult, where some of the notes just aren't going to anything in particular.
Right, exactly. And I was seeing their... warm-up.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you usually warm up with?
I think that I would fall into the camp more similar to Zabizzle, where I am trying to like focus on treating this like it is a tournament song. But yeah, it is kind of split in two ways how people will use it, and it also depends on the situation. I think that they're in a place right now where the two of them have not had a lot of warm-up time, so this would be a situation where I think Zabizzle would also want to really focus on using it. If you've already had a tournament match, maybe on their next tournament match, it's like, okay, I'm a little bit tired, I don't want to spend too much of my energy, treat it a little bit more like Creteture does. So it really is situational dependent, I think, for any given player.
I hadn't really thought of it that way, and I'm very... It's nice to have this conversation with somebody who actually competed at Upbeat. You know, you are a completely different tier of player than I am. So it's nice to be able to get that insight. Someone who has a completely different view of the game, effectively.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think everybody has a really valid and different way of seeing this game and approaching tournament play. And it also, like, I'm sharing that people have different perspectives in terms of where they are in their individual tournament run right now, but it also depends on like how the tournament is being run. Is it the kind of tournament where you are playing 11s through 13s because it is more lowers focused, or are you jumping straight in with 15s, because that's going to entirely shift the way that you're approaching things.
Right.
We're looking here at Paranoia Rebirth, our first true song of the match, 190 BPM, which nowadays is kind of a common BPM for some of the more challenging 16s and 17s.
You even sometimes will see 14 experts that are in that difficulty range nowadays.
Yeah.
Or that BPM range, sorry. I misspoke there.
All right, let's see how they get started. Who can lock in early?
Creteture with an early miss there, but otherwise keeping good accuracy. Both of them within an EX or two of each other.
Yeah, and you can really hear the difference in how heavy that they're stepping now that this is a tournament match. I think particularly with Creteture,
yes.
You can both see in the form and hear in the crispness of the steps, like, this is actually, we are now trying to win this match.
Yes.
I think that early miss, it looked like he was kind of looking down, kind of shaking his head, getting ready for the match, and might have just not fully been in there for that first or second step. But as you're seeing now, holding a gold combo definitely has been making up for lost ground from those first couple steps.
both of them picking up are great at about the same measure, if my eyes caught that correctly.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen here because this kind of has blue note syndrome coming in on all those offbeats. It's a lot harder to find the window than it is at the beginning.
Up arrow jacks.
Yeah. They both handled him really well.
Yes.
And this is a really tight match right now. We're only a couple EX away, so one miss, a couple grades could make the difference.
Even a few perfects.
That's right. Oh, wow.
And those jacks are just, and crossovers that just don't let up. Wow,
my gosh.
This is a 10?
Oh, down to the wire.
Oh.
Wow, and it looks like at the
takes it.
end, yeah. Creteture really held on. Those crossovers, I don't think I saw a single perfect there. It was incredible.
That was
well played.
Lovely. It's always lovely to see pools. I forgot how nice it is to watch tournaments in person.
How nice it is to watch good DDR.
Yes.
It's addictive. Once you start to see it and you're like, ooh, I love seeing those Marvelouses stream. Gives you a little hit of dopamine. Hope we'll see dopamine at some point in this tournament. That's a good song.
I'm a little partial to the Stardom remix myself.
Stardom remix is also good. Unfortunately, we won't see it because it's not default. But yes, that would be a wonderful chart to see.
And the second song, which I managed to pronounce earlier, but no longer can read. Neither of us have a great deal of memory with it.
Yeah, probably played it one time and that was it. Or I guess more like 4 times to get each of the difficulties, but then that was it. Seems like they're also having trouble finding the song.
They also seem to be, I think, they're using letter sort rather than difficulty sort.
Which makes me wonder if one of them has fluency in Japanese. Okay, looks like they are switching it up to the level sort.
And this will at least slightly narrow it down. Do they know what jacket they're wearing?
Is that it?
That's it, yes.
Alright! Well done, Zabizzle. Thank you so much for getting us where we need to be. Okay, I do recognize this music.
I don't. What mix was this in?
I want to say that it's either A3 or World.
Oh, this is new? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain why I don't recognize it.
Alright, so they're dropping from 190 BPM down to 160, which means that we're going to see a little bit more in the way of the 16th notes, especially with an expert chart.
And we jumped up to 11. Well, freeze, sorry.
Yeah, these are tricky freezes. Since that they last all the way to the end of where the next step comes in, sometimes you're gonna lose your footing right before you're supposed to step onto the next arrow and drop it a little bit early. So I think that might be what's happening with Zabizzle right now. So it looks like it's shifted into a healthy lead for Creteture. This is gonna be us pretty much watching this combo to see, is he able to finish out the unspoken thing?
I'm not about to jinx it.
No, I wouldn't dare. Oh yeah, look, these patterns are getting more complicated, adding in a couple crossovers, some jumps straight out of stream.
This is a fun 11.
Yes, it is.
I'm struggling to see anything about this chart that I have any qualms with. This is
Well done!
well done, yes.
Alright, Creed, 1045. Only 29 perfects too. That is an amazing showing.
And a very nice and even fast-slow ratio.
Yeah, that's always a good sign too. Yeah, really tight MA.
Yes. Looks like that's going to be Creteture taking it 2-0. And
Well played by both.
Yeah, that would have to be a sight read on their part because they have not played DDR World before.
Yeah.
That is a sight read 11 PFC.
Alright.
On command in a
Okay,
tournament.
that is something else, and that is the first pool. When we're seeing sight read BFCs on 11s from the first pool, you can see just the quality of players that we're going to have today.
Our next match. We have seen all of the players.
We've seen all the players, so we're going to see them in a different orientation now.
Or at least I have seen all the... No, you did come in at the tail end. You did see all the players, yes.
I saw about 30 seconds of the other two.
So we are going to see some combination of those four.
And can you remind me who was the winner of the first match?
The winner of the first match was Mars.
All right. So I will be interested to see how Mars plays against Crete. As kind of the two who have come away with a win, fighting for who is going to be the first seed. There's still an opportunity that we can see a little bit of a round-robin situation where one of the two who have lost their first match wins, and people who have won their first match lose the second, and then we start getting like three-way tie situations. So that is always really exciting when that comes up. But it is generally more likely that we're
with Mars, and she soundly beat me in basically every single song we played.
Okay.
Mars is a very consistent player who has very minimized form that I envy. I'm going to say it outright. I envy how crisp and clean she's able to make her steps. And it's going to be very interesting to see what songs we have for them. Not quite able to see that just yet.
So it looks like it is going to be Mars and Crete who are up here. So this is our winners match here. If whoever wins this is very likely to take the entire pool. And this is actually Mars's first tournament, so it would be really exciting. Yeah, if they were able to come away with a win, anytime that you can get promoted through a pool, that's like a win for your tournament right there.
Yes.
Which kind of reminds me that maybe we should talk a little bit about the way that this format is structured for this tournament. It's something that we've seen pretty commonly over the last several years.
Yes,
rather than doing a double elimination format, kind of going to this waterfall pool. So could you walk the viewers through what that looks like?
Certainly. So in a waterfall pool, each group is, like, the entire player base is separated into groups of usually four players. It's uncommon for them to be, greater than that, but it does happen on occasion where each person will play a card draw against every individual. So Mars is going to play a set against Creteture, they played a set against Dark64, and they're going to play a set against Zabizzle. And whoever wins the most sets out of those is going to move up into the next pool, where they and three other people will compete and do much of the same. And what this does is it lets everybody have a good idea of how they perform against other people, and also gives everyone a fair shot to play a few sets in the day, so it isn't just you played one or two sets and that's the end.
Because you can see how tight the matches are, that everybody's trying their best, everybody is fighting for kind of that, like I said, getting out of your pool is kind of the win that everybody looks for. And when you can get a double promotion, or sometimes we see triple promotions, there's almost always at least one person who gets a double or triple promotion, and it's just so exciting. You can see how tired they are by the end of their tournament from the work that they've done.
The two of them, I don't know if this is a warm-up or not. Quite have a song beat just yet for this round.
That's an excellent question, whether they're going to be granting them warm-ups for their second and third matches within every pool. That's something that kind of depends on the tournament.
Yes, in either case, both of them performing within, I want to say, 5 to 8 EX, give or take. I am not very good at catching the numbers as they're changing so suddenly.
Yeah, it looks like just in the last couple steps, Creteture has made a little bit more of a gap so that it's closer to 10 now.
Yeah. But there's still plenty of song, plenty of notes.
Yeah, actually, just as I said that, Mars made up a little bit of that ground. It's a little bit closer now. Yeah, only a 5 EX difference there at the end.
And that's a PFC on Mars' side. Was that a sight read? It is not a sight read, but it is nice to close out a PFC.
And look at that, Creteture 2 songs in a row with 29 perfects. That might be the magic number there.
29's a good lucky number.
And it looks like that was an actual song in the match. So Creteture is going to go up 1-0. Oh, and look what they struck Chaos. They could have been playing Chaos.
Chaos is a fun song. I love Chaos.
Chaos is a ladder. And you know what? They decided that they didn't want to climb that ladder today. Instead, they're going to play a much more straightforward song. I don't know how do you pronounce this song, but it is a familiar one that most of us know.
I believe it's Under This Blue Sky.
Under This Blue Sky.
When translated. Next up is Sterling Silver.
That's the difficult chart, I think.
Yeah, it is the difficult chart. I'm admittedly more familiar with the U1 remix of it than the original. But still a plenty high energy, high BPM. I don't expect it to be very forgiving, even in this difficult slot.
Yeah, it's rare that you'll see a song by Yuichi or by Tag that has like any level of forgiveness to the players. Both really common artists within a Soda Fujimori rhythm. Tag is much more about like, let's get these upbeat, happy rhythms that people can kind of feel the dance club energy.
Yes. They are rhythm game songs you would not object to hearing in a club.
Now here's something really exciting, is that Mars is actually up on this. So if Mars is able to hold this, oh, and just as I say that, they drop a hold. But this is an opportunity for Mars to come back and make this a 1-1 where they need to fight for that third song. Only a 2 EX difference right now. Oh, and it's tied.
I, for some reason, thought that this was half BPM. That piano is a little unsettling in this. I kind of forget that there's that unsettling part of this song. And then,
yeah.
Like right after, it's going to go into... right about here, I believe.
All right, Mars is coming out of it with a 9 EX lead at the hold there. If you watch Mars' screen and you don't see too many perfects coming out, you know that they're going to take the song.
But it's not over yet. You know,
oh no.
Creteture could still, you know, it is still a tag song at the end of the day. And
that's right.
There's plenty of pattern left to be seen.
And famously, DDR patterns get harder toward the end.
Mars takes it with a 18?
Yeah.
18.
18. That is a solid lead from Mars. 20 perfects, 1 great, and 1 miss. My goodness.
Creature's still doing plenty again with a, I believe, sight read, unless they played it before. I'm not entirely sure, but both of them doing amazing. You know, able to close out the FC flag.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow. These players are so good. Mars got bars indeed, D-Hood.
And I believe that means next up is going to be Dark64 and Zabizzle with... Well, we were talking about songs that are unforgiving in their patterns.
Yeah, we will certainly see them.
And so we are going to be able to witness the glory that is Trip Machine Evo is the first song.
Yeah.
I don't recall if the difficult does nothing.
I don't think it does the thing, but it does the second thing right after.
It does the second thing, okay.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, we've got Twinkleheart ahead of us.
That's a good point. I'm sorry. I cannot do that.
We are tied up in this match, so we've got one more to go.
I got way too far ahead of myself.
No, when you see Trip Machine Evo, you want to talk about it. Here. I don't expect we'll see many mistakes given the caliber of these players, but this is a tricky pattern, especially coming into those freeze arrows and then having to step on those offbeats.
Looks like there was a miss earlier, we got a good, but Mars is still catching up. Closing up that gap that was a little bit steep, but it is getting cleaned up. nicely done for both of them. And of course, as I say that,
Yeah, those stinky goods can get in there so easily. It looks like they're both opting to double step most of the crossovers too, which those can sometimes cause goods if you're not careful about your form, even if you hit it on the correct tempo.
now that I think about it, I think I haven't seen most crossovers be executed as crossovers so far today.
Yeah, I think we're at BPMs where it won't matter too much if you're executing it as a true crossover.
There's that stop.
There is the stop, no slowdown, no classic June slowdown, but they will of course add the June stop. Alright, Creed's gonna come away with the win on this and take the match. 2-1, a great showing from Mars. But Mars will still have an opportunity to win this pool potentially if Creteture loses the next match.
That is true.
Let's get some shout-outs for Mars and for Creteture for some excellent play on their second matches of the day.
DDR, welcome to Mercury.
Welcome to Mercury, Creteture. We love points.
Always love to see points. If there's anything I've learned from ITL, points.
Points are good.
Never gonna say no to points.
Next up, we have Zabizzle and Dark64, and you were so excited to talk about this match, you started a little bit early.
Yeah,
so here's your opportunity to pick it right back up. You wanted to talk about Trip Machine Evolution, I don't blame you. So here's your opportunity.
So Trip Machine Evolution is gonna be their first song, and it is very well known for starting immediately.
And when you say immediately, you mean
There is no
immediately.
hesitation. The song is the screen barely loads in, and the first note either has happened or is about to happen. I do not recall on the difficult.
I think on the difficult, it is about to happen.
It is a great example of a sleep paralysis demon chart.
Yes, it absolutely will jump scare you even if you have played it before. There's no real way to time it. Assuming nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't wish for anyone to get hurt, but if no one got hurt, it would be kind of funny.
It would be a little funny, yes.
But yeah, there are a couple additional stops throughout the song as well. It's just like a little what,
Yes.
halfway through. I think on the 12, there's only one note during that stop. You don't have to hit on each of the individual
Yes, I
stops.
believe it is a whole, yes, thankfully.
But even so, it's the kind of thing that can mess with your head. And I think both of these players are the kind who will have enough familiarity with the game and with that popular song to be able to execute on it. But when you have the nerves of tournament performance, those types of stops and starts can fully throw you off.
Yes. It'll be interesting to see if they both have plays on it, because it is... I want to call it not a classic, but it has been over 10 years at this point, I'm pretty sure, since DDR X3 came out.
Well, so looking, they both have plays on the Expert. Only Zabizzle has a play on the, or was it? No, only Dark has a play on the 12. They have very similar scores on the 16.
And as you can see from that BPM range, we have all the way from 95 to 195, but most of it is at 195. I think there's only one note that's actually at 95, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I do believe you're correct. And there is technically some 370 as well in the first note.
Yes, if that note is present.
Yeah. Or it actually might be more than 370. 390, I mean. 390. That's math.
Let's see, both of them getting ready with the very first note of the song, and here we go.
Alright, so one of them was able to execute the perfect on that first note, which is no easy task.
It is not. It's mean. And I think this might be... Is this the first 12 that we've seen so far?
So far, I do believe, unless there was one that I didn't see before I
I
arrived.
believe this is the first 12, and we are seeing just how quickly the difficulty scales up from one difficulty to the next, both with those mini jacks those quick tell jumps and those slightly off rhythm jumps. Not off rhythm as in off sync, but just waiting 3/8 notes to jump.
And it looked like that slow down 95 BPM was a little bit unfamiliar to Zabizzle, tripped him up ever so slightly. The thing that I want to point out that's interesting is that Dark64 actually reads on a different skin note than most people tend to. Zabizzle using the classic note skin, but Dark
Zabizzle playing with floating flare on. Not something I usually see in tournaments, admittedly, but...
You know, I actually think that there is a little bit of a strategy potentially to playing with floating flare. You are able to count what your EX score is at the top of the screen when you're still in the flare EX window before it turns into flare 9. So if you're somebody who uses that as a way of counting how many perfects do I have, it could clue you into like, how am I doing right now? How much do I need to lock in? Oh, I can see based on how far the flare EX has dropped that I have 9 perfects. So there could be a strategic element to it.
This next song is I Really Need to Learn Japanese. That is not the name of the song.
There should be a song called I Really Need to Learn Japanese. I think that's called Cyrano's Perfect Japanese Class.
I mean, I know that there's a song about how to cook rice and the effects of eating delicious rice.
There's a song about anything in DDR.
That is a good point. I was not aware that this song has changes in BPM. That's a fairly tight BPM range as well.
Yeah, it's one of those songs where it isn't like really changing the BPM, but it's just not a perfectly
it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to think. It's like one of the paranoias, I think, that
the original paranoia
the original
does go back and forth. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're only shifting 8 BPM, it's usually because the song is just written not with a perfect, there's no machine ticker. Yeah, Quick Master is another good example of that.
Oh, it's a song called Amano Jaku.
Wow, this is tight right now.
This is
a tie, a direct tie.
Oh yes, that is both of them. Oh.
Both?
As I open my mouth.
That's right. They both made the mistake on the same step there. There's some kind of a offbeat 16th note coming in.
Oh, speaking of offbeat, there's my favorite color note, green.
Yeah. Only a bagman would say that.
This is
tight as
plenty of varying rhythms for a 10. And plenty of jumps. It looks like at this exact moment.
My life. So 2-0 for Zabizzle, which gives him the opportunity. Yeah, on a sight read. So Zabizzle still has the opportunity to potentially win this pool, depending on how all the matches shake out.
Yeah. It's interesting always seeing what songs end up getting vetoed when there isn't something like chaos in the draw.
Right.
Because depending on the range, you kind of figure out what a player's strengths and what they might falter on a little bit just from.
Right. Or it might just be if they've even seen the song before.
That is also a good point, because I know that one of the songs that we had that were vetoed for this was that remix of Da 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 Da.
Oh my gosh. That's a default availability song.
It is. It's part of a Niji Sanji collaboration, I believe. I want to say the 13 has nearly 300, 13 alone has 300 charts by now. I could be wrong on that, but it certainly feels like there's more.
And 12 has something like 450 charts.
Especially considering most licenses, like what we have on the Attract mode right now, usually will cap anywhere from 11 to 13.
Yeah.
It's rare to see a license get anything higher.
Yeah. So I think that because of the nature of this tournament not having a like small selection of songs to choose from and having all of the defaults available in this modern era of DDR where we have 5,812 charts that you could potentially play, well, let's just say they haven't played every chart.
Yes.
Right. You are, until top 4, you're not going to see anybody who's played every chart.
Yes, honestly, I think even in top 4, you might find one. Well, one of them is sitting right here commentating, so fair enough. I'm gonna eat my words there.
But even then, that player likely would have only played that chart one time years ago.
That's also fair.
So it's just, you're not going to see a whole lot of familiarity with every single chart. So when something like Chaos comes up, I wouldn't be surprised if a player is like, well, I at least know Chaos. I'll stick with it.
So
Sometimes it's the devil you know.
Right now, it's going to be Zabizzle and Mars. Fun fact about both of these players, both of their favorite songs are So Deep.
And wouldn't it be amazing if we were able to play So Deep today?
It would be delightful. I would love to see even the old charts coming back or some modern takes on them. It's a good song. It's a lovely song. That song list for this pool, they have chosen violence.
They have chosen violence. We haven't seen the last of our trip machines today.
This is not the first, and if these pools have any say, it will not be the last. This time we are going with Trip Machine Phoenix.
Slightly nicer trip machine, but that's not saying much. This one will also have one note of a slowdown.
Yes, it has that one note slowdown. This is also a little unique in that it's one of the earliest songs to have 2 difficulty slots that have the same rating in modern scale.
Yeah, what an interesting differential between the expert and the challenge chart, where the goal of the challenge chart wasn't specifically to make a harder chart, it was to make a different take on the chart.
Yes.
And so there are moments where the expert chart is harder, and there are moments where the challenge chart have 2-1 in their pool, which gives them a contention to potentially win the pool, depending on what happens between the final match.
That is true. Looks like the match is within...
Look at those jumps.
Those are brutal for a duo.
Zabizzle was stepping so hard on those jumps. You can see how much he wants it. And Mars absolutely locked in as well.
Both of them, the tension as they MA these patterns and just try to make sense of a trip machine pattern is electric.
Yeah, I had forgotten just how difficult these step jumps are in this song. A lot of them are candle step jumps too, requiring you to move your foot from down to up or up to down across the entire pad in the middle of a jump.
And now this entire section is going to be mostly blue.
All right, here comes that slowdown.
Here we are. And of course it's a 16th. Now a bunch of crossovers.
All right, Zabizzle with a little bit more familiarity on that song. It looked like at the end, a couple goods from Mars from the slowdown.
Honestly, even on Trip Machine, being as close as 18EX is...
Right. Right, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mars bring it back on the second song.
I don't know if I would be able to replicate that sort of accuracy even warmed up. Trip Machine is just one of those songs where no matter how ready you think you are
not.
You're just not. And now this next song that we have coming up is Aoba no Ashioto. I do not know what that means in English.
I'm really grateful for you making these pronunciations on my behalf.
I have been trying to learn Japanese.
Oh, good for you.
It is my only saving grace when it comes to it, is that I can't read it, but I can pronounce it.
And so could you do this one more time for us? What is the title?
Aoba no Ashioto.
Thank you.
This has a 14 that has become my personal vendetta lately.
It's very challenging. It's a swing step 14,
Yes.
lots of green notes, though you say you do love a green note. I don't know the 11 so well, but I would venture to say that there are a fair number of green notes that will pop up as well.
Yes, both of them with a score on the 14, fairly similar scores as well.
I think that bodes well for a good match.
It looks like Mars has played the 11 before, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
I always root for people to tie up to give us a third match that the TOs run behind on schedule. That's what I always love to see. So I'm rooting for Mars to tie this up, even though I love Zabizzle, and then we can see a third song.
And this is going to be our first full swing song of the event.
Yeah, this 11 has all of the swing that we talked about.
And especially for an 11, you don't usually see a lot of swing in this difficulty.
No, especially not with this level of frequency. And this moves between kind of the classic swing that we're seeing here and those end of measure 12th bursts.
Yes, I'm seeing a lot of jumping between just standard 12s where you will see 3 notes in between each red rather than the standard 4 16ths.
Exactly.
And you'll also see a few 20/16ths where it's like the dun-da-da, dun-da-da.
Yeah. With that complexity of rhythm, it is surprising to see just how close this match is. They are one step away from each other. 3 EX.
It is.
1 EX now. Oh my goodness. This is high level DDR.
This might be one of the hardest 11s I've seen in a long time out of DDR.
They are handling it so well. Okay, look at this. A slight lead now from Zabizzle. Is he going to hold on at the end here? The rhythm gets weird.
There is just, even when it feels like it's letting up, this song just does not.
Okay,
It's like
Mars is bringing it back.
Mars has the slight lead, but the song is not over.
Oh my goodness.
Crossover in the swing.
The lead is going back and forth here, but if Mars can hold on the last 5 seconds here, we're going to see a third song. Amazing ending by Mars.
Especially on that MC.
After having been down for about half of the song, Mars swung it back and ended with a 25 EX lead. That is a strong
very
end.
substantial, a very good sight read on Zabizzle's part. You know, not the first time hearing the song, but those are some very unrelenting patterns. Especially those like swing jacks going back and forth between left up and right up. I believe our next song, that is Tomorrow Perfume.
A little bit more straightforward than what we just saw. Which isn't saying much, because everything is more straightforward than what we just saw.
When Trip Machine Phoenix and
Right.
Alba no Ashioto are your songs, this is where we...
These are two players who are not afraid of a little bit of weirdness.
So this is a song that Zabizzle has some experience with across the board, but Mars has not played before. And I'm realizing as the preview comes up that I don't know if I've ever played this song. In fact.
Oh, interesting. This is an older song. I would call it a classic. We've been talking about some of the artists who come up frequently. DJ Taka is another one who has had a long and storied career with Bamani.
DJ Taka, I'd say, is probably responsible for a fairly large portion of even modern DDR songs under various aliases.
And a fair number of nightmares. All right, here we go. We're jumping into game number 3, Tomorrow Perfume. Let's see who has a chance to still be in the running to win this pool.
And these are 16 hold notes.
Zabizzle starting with a little bit of the lead there from those tricky patterns at the beginning, but as we have seen from our last song, Mars has the opportunity to bring this back. They've done it before and they could do it again, so watch closely.
Looks like the patterns are letting up.
I can tell you for now, we have about a 7 EX lead from Zabizzle.
Yes. My apologies, I am not doing a very great commentary today.
I would disagree. I think you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you very much. You are doing an absolutely exemplary job.
Speaking of an exemplary job, Mars is doing an exemplary job of catching up because it is down to 1 step. It is a direct tie. A 1 EX difference. A 1 EX difference for the match. Oh my goodness. Amazing job from both Mars and Zabizzle.
Right at the end.
Wow.
Mars with a still fairly early but relatively even matchup. Again, also on a sight read.
Yeah. Wow, congratulations to Mars. An amazing first tournament showing. What a great way to go out on your first tournament. A 1 EX difference.
1 EX on the 3rd song.
Yeah.
That is how you know that these are as close of a match as you can get.
Let's see some Mars love in the chat. We want to see more Mars in future tournaments. See them coming back. Congratulations, Mars. 3 amazing matches. I'm sorry I only got to see the 2nd and 3rd of them. I would have loved to have seen the 1st. And then, also, let's turn our attention to Zabizzle, who has the opportunity to potentially be promoted, depending on what Creteture does.
Yes. It'll be intriguing to see how these matches turn out. And also, hi.
Oh, hey, we're being filmed. Hello.
So, by my side is Spaghetti, if you would like to give a quick wave. He is our man behind the scenes. He is the one who has been setting this up. He is the one who made the graphics that you see behind this camera. Let's also give a huge shout out to Spaghetti for everything that he does to keep this streak running.
Yeah, Spaghetti. And all of our TOs and people helping run. You know, we can see them all over here. I mean, you can't see them on the camera, but we can see them over here helping and making sure everything runs smoothly. It is so hard to run a tournament. It's so hard to run all of the behind the scenes. We just sit here and talk while the other people do the amazing work of either being on the pad and dancing or being behind the scenes making everything happen. They were up early. They were here last night working tirelessly. I was trying to talk to Spug, but he was so busy making things happen. He was a busy Spug. So thank you so much to the Holyoke community for running this tournament. I'm really excited to see what the rest of the day holds for us. As we finish up our first pool and move into the second, the quality of DDR is only going to improve from here on out.
As is the difficulty.
That's right. Now, do you know the difficulty that we're moving up into for pool number 2?
So for pool 1, we started off with 10, 11, 12.
It looks like 11. Wow, there is a chance you could have the expert and challenge charts. But moving on, we do have one more match before we start talking about the second pool. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here.
The pool is not over yet. And what do we have as our song? Oh, I'm sorry.
For a second there, I thought it was more Trip Machine, but that was just the previous previous draw. So we can give thanks that it's not. It looks like Chaplet is going to be our first. Oh my goodness, these players are picking some really challenging songs.
Chaplet, I have not played this in a very long time.
Well, there's a couple things to know about Chaplet. So, a couple things to know about Chaplet. It is very late, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some fasts. But that sync does shift a little bit depending on if it's in the slowdown or not. There's a lot of time spent in the slowdown. Most songs that have one will maybe spend a couple seconds in it. This, as you see, has the slowdown at the start and then the tricky gallops. But then there's also going to be about another 15-20 second slowdown halfway through the song. There's a couple stops in there. You'll see them happen right now. And that'll come back again as a similar motif at the end of the song. So, if you pick this kind of song, you're someone who's familiar with it, I hope, because there's a lot of gallops, difficult rhythms to lock into, as well as several speed changes.
And it could also be that they just really like the song. You know, they might have the game soundtrack that they listen to on YouTube, and they've listened to it enough that they somewhat intuit it. Still a brave decision if that is the case.
It is. Coming into the slowdown, it's a 16 EX lead for Creteture. But, as slowdowns go, it can be really easy to lose your sync. Although Creteture is not losing it one bit. It looks like Dark64 is locked in too.
It is going to be. There's some slowdown greens.
Yeah, slowdown greens are very challenging to time.
It looks like both of them are doing it with fairly good grace. both of them keeping good MA into the speed up, and there's those stops with notes this time.
Yep, clear familiarity with this chart for both players. Alright, coming into the final chorus here. Creteture with about a 15 EX lead. Easy to get tripped up here though.
Especially with those jumps into crossover gallops.
But a strong finish for both
Nicely
players.
done.
So Creteture is now one song away from taking this pool. It is up to Dark64 to be the savior of the pool.
And that's going to be on Far East Nightbird, the original by Nekomata Master. This is going to be interesting. I wish I had the better song knowledge on this one. But again, I'm familiar with the remix.
So, what is the remix like? I don't think that I know the remix.
I believe it's a Chorus K remix.
Oh, okay, maybe that is what
Unless I'm remembering a different Nekomata Master song, which is very possible. Before I start confidently saying... Okay, yes, this is the original, yep. So, just before I start confidently saying incorrect information...
You know, I think the world could use a little bit more of that. Pausing before we say incorrect information, so I appreciate that from you. Okay, I see a score from Dark64 on the 12 and on the 10, so I wouldn't be surprised if this was a pick from Dark.
I believe it was, yes. Not much of any heads up before the song just kicks in.
This is one of those ones that comes at you right from the start. Alright, Creteture can already feel this is the song that he needs to get out of this pool and get that promotion. Wonder if Dark64 feels that pressure.
Oh, we got a little bit of green there, but otherwise a fairly relaxed opening.
I would say so, yeah.
I am a little bit afraid of what the rest of the song has in store, just because, as someone who's familiar with the song somewhat, there's a lot of ways that they can chart this next section.
That's right. Though this is the difficult 10, so I think that they keep it relatively tame, which means that this is going to be really a battle of MA throughout the rest of the song.
Both of them doing a very good job maintaining MA, only getting a perfect here and there. Looks like at the moment the teacher is maintaining good confidence.
That's right. Good heavy steps, keeping that beat in the off moments. See him bouncing with the knees, both players, really strong timing. But Creteture is holding on to a gold combo, and I think this is kind of Creteture's victory lap now on the pool. I think he can feel it's coming. This is my opportunity. How am I going to perform in this final song? I want to show what I've got.
But at the same time, it means that he can't really, they can't really relax yet. There still is some left, and as we saw, even there was a few breaks there, and they were able to lock back in, but that could have
things could have started to get out of hand quickly.
Yes.
But it looks like Dark64 is going to be joining Zabizzle and Mars as the eliminated members of our first pool. So congratulations to all three of those players on excellent performances. Creteture with a 3-0 showing is going to move on into the second pool to join three other players who may be familiar to us.
Might be a little familiar.